What's up guys, my name is Sarah and welcome back to another Blade HQ video. Today we're going to have Blade HQ employees in the studio with me to talk about knives that they would recommend based on their hobbies. I'm excited to see what everyone brings in, so let's get started. Alright guys, first up we have Cooper, who works with me at Blade HQ. Cooper, what do you do here for those that don't know you?
I am the HR manager here at Blade HQ and have been for about 3 years. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Been here a little while, but yeah, always been the HR manager.
Awesome. Well, you do great work for all of us here.
Thank you.
But we have kind of designated you as the resident hunter.
Okay.
So obviously that's what you brought with you today, is stuff that you use while you're out hunting.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about, I know you do archery hunting. Is that typically what you do more than anything else?
You know, I consider myself a lifelong hunter. Been hunting my entire life.
Nice.
But I've actually only been doing archery the past 3 years. So
okay.
I've actually done rifle hunting the majority of my life and just archery the past 3 years.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm into all types of hunting, really big game hunting. When everyone says like, you know, what do we think of hunting? That could be anything from pheasant hunting, duck hunting, to big game hunting, to there's a number of different types of hunting.
Yeah,
but me in particular, big game hunting, deer, elk, is what I've typically done when I say sweet. I'm a lifelong hunter. Well,
that's awesome. So yeah, you're definitely doing it for a while. So you obviously rely on a lot of equipment while you're hunting. So what did you bring to show us today?
Yeah, so I brought a couple of things, basically what I carry in my pack for the past. So this year I went on a elk hunt here in Utah. Was fortunate enough to harvest an elk, and this is what I had with me, what I used. So I thought this would be appropriate to use. So that was an archery elk hunt in August. So this first knife here is an SE4.
Love that.
This has the upgraded steel. I believe most SE4s have, I don't remember the steel, maybe it's 1095, but this has S35 VN.
A classic.
And obviously the orange G10 liners. So yeah, I used that on the second part. I guess there's a little bit of backstory to why I brought both of these sets here. So the first knife I was using is a scalpel blade, and while processing this out by myself, it broke. The mechanism that holds the blade broke. I was being a little too rough on it. You know, scalpel blade, I'll show you this one that I have now.
Yeah.
It's a exchangeable blade, basically. This is from Hogue. This is called the Expel. This is a new model.
Okay, that's cool.
I have not used this yet, so forgive me if I haven't even actually, it has a blade in it. It's supposed to be a little bit where it attaches there. I don't know if you want to look at that.
Cool.
But essentially you can use, it's a lockback mechanism, but if you unlock it, there's a button at the top that will shoot the blade. There's like a, I don't know, like a throwaway blade after it gets dull. I don't even know where it's
swappable.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Haven't technically tried it, but the point is that I like a scalpel blade, so I don't have to spend time sharpening my blade in the field. Okay,
so you typically have more than one knife or sharp edge with you while you're on a hunt then?
Yeah, so this is typically what I'll use, and this past hunt, like I said, my knife broke in the middle of me processing this game, so I had this with me, which I was glad. Yeah. That's the reason, you know, carry two with you. Yeah. There's a lot of hunters that will just carry one fixed blade and use that. Typically something that's a little bit lighter and thinner than the SE, but the reason I looked at a number of fixed blades that we have. The reason I went with SE, lifetime warranty, it's got a really thick spine, so if I wanted to use it for like survival purposes to, you know, baton wood or, you know, build a fire or something like that, that I could still use this and it would be in my pack and also obviously work for processing game.
Yeah, no, it's a good all-around knife. I have the SE3 and I love it. I obviously don't hunt like you do, but like for at a campsite and using it with wood and everything. Why don't I hunt? I don't really know if that's in my expertise. But yeah, I think that's a great pick and I'm excited to see how that Hogue turns out for you.
Yeah, so, well, the reason I brought this whole thing, people are wondering like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, what's in the bag?
This is basically a kill kit, what people will call it in the hunting community. So this knife, what I like it is it fits in this kill kit where I've got 5 game bags. You know, when you process meat, you want to keep the flies and but still keep them breathable. So these are really small game bags. I've got gloves in here, these orange gloves, and I've got trash bags, and it all fits in here really nice into my pack. So that's another reason I like this, is it's really lightweight. I don't have to carry a sharpener. Again, the exchanger blades are really small and it all fits here in this set of game bags here.
Nice. Well, yeah, seems like a very organized system you got. Great picks. I love the Hunter Orange on all those.
Oh yeah.
But
I was just listening to a podcast the other day about someone else was trying a different knife, but they were saying like, I've always had orange knife. This one had, you know, green handles, and I ended up losing it and set it down. I didn't know where it was, and you know, put my hand down to like catch myself from falling, and it was almost like 2 feet away from like this knife. I actually found it, but accidentally by almost falling on it. So Hunter Orange is a big, obviously it's for visibility, for safety purposes, so it's always a good. It also looks good, I think. But.
Yeah, I know. I like the orange. That's sweet. But, I mean, awesome. I had no insight into this, so thank you for your time to explain it to me and everyone else. I think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's see who's next. All right, so I am here with Mercedes. And Mercedes, for those who don't know you, how long have you been here?
I've been here for just about a year now. I actually just hit my year mark, and it was my anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We love that. And what do you do here?
I'm just a sales representative for the storefront, so I just help customers out.
Nice. So you know a lot about knives.
Hopefully.
Maybe call yourself a knife enthusiast.
Definitely.
I know you have a ton of knives.
It's hard not to collect them.
I know. And so out of that collection, what did you bring to show us today?
I brought a Chris Reeve small Sabenza.
Oh, okay. Just casual Holy Grail knife for... Or I should say Grail knife for all these people. Amazing. Tell me about this knife and why you chose it.
This knife I chose, one, like you said, it's a Holy Grail knife. It was one that caught my eye. Once we got them into the storefront, I knew I needed to buy one.
Yeah.
It's got the titanium, it's magna cut steel. I actually love the paracord because it's smaller. It allows me to grab it out of my pocket and hold it better. I love the slow open with the thumb stud.
Yeah,
It's a great everyday carry. Just good feeling quality knife.
Super premium too. Totally makes sense that if you have a ton of knives, this is the one you're gonna pick because you want that cool premium feel in your pocket. And you opted for the small one over the regular.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it fit my hand a little better. I think I have smaller hands, so the big one was just a little too big.
Yeah.
But
I feel
good
that.
size still.
Well, I mean, for only being here for a year and you already have a Sabenza, you're already trumping a bunch of people out there that I'm sure are very jealous of you.
It's hard not to buy so many knives when you're around them all day.
I know.
I also love the micarta. I've been really into brown and earth tones.
Yeah, look at that. It fits your outfit perfectly.
I love it.
That's awesome. Very classy. That's a great pick.
Thank you.
All right, Mercedes, now tell me who you would recommend this knife to as a knife enthusiast.
Yeah, I'd recommend this knife to probably other fellow knife enthusiasts because it's a little higher end, higher price, and higher quality. Yeah. It's probably one you'd want to save up for and a little more niche maybe, a little more... Yeah, Holy Grail knife.
There you go. I totally agree. I think if you have a huge collection and maybe don't have something as premium, then this would definitely be your next choice. But I think it is also a great pick for anyone who's just looking to have that premium feel in their pocket. Obviously, if you need to save up for it, that's also great. But I think it's comparable to a lot of other premium knives on the market.
Exactly.
All right, well, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, we are here with someone who needs no introduction. You've seen him before, our resident knife expert, George.
Oh, thanks. And if all goes to plan, you'll see me again, too.
We can only hope. But George, you're here, as I said, our knife expert.
Yeah, and I brought my staff pick to that end.
I'm excited.
Which is, in this case, the Artisan Cutlery Revel.
Oh, I expected this from you.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you why it's my pick.
Please, tell me.
So, when I picked this knife up, this feels like something that was made by a team that really knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So first of all, this handle, see how it has these nice contours to it?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
And how they match right here in this groove here. Like, that takes a lot of machining expertise.
Oh yeah.
And I imagine a lot of that came from Ray Laconico, its designer, who's very respected in the industry, been around for the longest time. I like how we have a true bead blast finish. You don't see too many of those.
Yep.
And this like coating on the titanium's great. We have reversed hardware on this pocket clip, so the pocket clip has nothing showing on it. Titanium frame lock, and one of my favorite folder steels, CPM S90V.
That's awesome.
Yeah, everything about this just feels refined and like true knife experts put it together.
Oh,
People who know way more than I ever will.
Yeah, I think it's a great symbol of just the craftsmanship, like you said, behind a knife like that. I think as a knife expert, you've grown to appreciate the little things like that in knives, especially when there are so many on the market. So I think that's a great pick for someone of your stature and knowledge.
Well, thank you. I will say, though, this is something that takes a bit of growing into. I remember I showed this knife to my wife, and she was like, it's a knife.
She's like, whatever.
What's special about it? I'm like, what isn't special about it? Everything about this knife is special.
Exactly.
So if you like the finer things and you like digging into those details, then I would check out something like this guy, the Artisan Rebel.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's probably a good middle ground, a higher ground for budget-wise, you'd say.
Yeah, I want to say go about 200.
Oh yeah. So if you have a bunch of knives, maybe this is one you want to add to your collection, or maybe this is, to some of you, a grail knife. So I think that's a great pick.
This is currently my only titanium frame lock in my collection.
Well, there you go. It holds
true?
a special spot in your collection.
It does. It's really nice, though. I do like this one. Well done, Artisan. Y'all are the best.
All right. Well, George, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Sarah.
It.
Hopefully I'll be back soon.
All right. On to the next. So next we have Kendal, who is our resident fisherman.
What's up, guys?
And Kendal, for those that don't know you, what do you do here and how long have you been here?
I've been here about 2 years now, and I'm the product photographer.
Nice. Oh yeah, we're on the same wavelength. Our photography. I love it. But so you do a lot of fishing. How long have you been a fisherman or fisherwoman?
Feels like my whole life.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So do you, I know you've told me before you go on like these huge trips and everything for fishing. Do you go like all over the country, or where do you normally go for that?
So this year we actually went to Alaska, and it was
sweet.
awesome. So halibut and salmon.
Nice.
And I go to California sometimes and fish there too.
That's awesome. Super cool. And so it looks like you have the fish crafter with you today. Why don't you tell me a little bit about why you picked this one?
So I picked this one because it's probably the best fillet knife I've ever seen.
Okay.
It's got the Magna Cut steel, and it's flexible, which is awesome.
Yeah, it bends quite a bit.
Because you need that when you're filleting a fish.
Mm-hmm. True.
It's really nice.
Yeah, that's sweet. I remember when they released this one, if you don't mind. I remember seeing how much you can bend that blade, and I'm sure it comes in handy when you're trying to get around like bones and
totally.
like muscle and stuff in the fish. This thing's sweet. Super lightweight, obviously waterproof handle, the, what is it, like neoprene, Sanaprene?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So you can wash it right off because of the material. But the corrosion resistance on that is amazing. Yeah. Like in salt water, it doesn't rust at all. It's pristine through and through.
That's awesome. So then do you normally have more than one knife on you while you're fishing, or is it typically like a one and done, this is all you need?
So I have a couple of knives. I like having like a folder as well, just for cutting maybe some squid to put on the line and some bait stuff, and also the line. So I also like that. The Good Boy Junior right now is so good. Yeah. Fits right in the pocket, and I can use that for everything else.
That's awesome. So Kendal, who would you recommend this to? Maybe like a novice fisherman, intermediate, more expert? Is there someone that you would kind of target with this kind of knife?
You know, I think anybody could use this knife. I use this like just doing little trouts, all the way to those big, huge halibut. So, I mean, it is the 7-inch blade. Yeah. And we do have a 9-inch blade, which is great too. Yeah, but I just prefer this because it's of the flexibility. Like, it's not too long where it gets in the way. Like on a yeah. You have that movement there, so
that's sweet. And then, like you said, probably any kind of fish you can use this on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you for giving me insight on fishing. I know nothing about it, so it's really cool to hear about it.
I'll have to take you out one day and show you the waters.
That'd be awesome. Well, thank you for your time, and we'll see who's next.
All right.
All right, guys, next up, we have someone that you know and love and probably miss a lot. We have Dallas. How are you doing?
Hi, Sarah. I love it. I'm happy to be here. It's kind of a little nerve-wracking. It's been a minute. So
please, you're a natural. It's going to be just fine.
Yeah, natural.
But for those that don't know you or haven't checked into the channel in a while, what do you do here and how long have you been here?
I've been with Blade HQ for just over 4 years. I'm a buyer now. I started off in customer service after retiring from my previous gig. Yep. And went to the workshop, did videos for a minute, and now I'm a buyer and I love it.
Sweet. Well, we love having you.
So thanks. I love being here.
But we've kind of designated you and your hobby as a knife modder, which I think you can say that about yourself. You like to customize stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have quite the collection upstairs that I've seen of some pretty cool looking knives that you've built or put together.
It's funny because I find myself with titanium.
Yeah.
Anything titanium. I've kind of gotten into the habit of just anodizing the pocket clips now, or
cool.
maybe a pivot collar or something like that. Just add a little accent, but not go full on like some of these here. But
I love that.
But
that's cool too.
Yeah. No, I love it. Some of my in older videos, some of the bug out stuff that I've done with like the stormtroopers and
all your Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, all my Star Wars stuff. I'm a little bit of a Star Wars nerd, or a nerd, or a
pride
dad.
in that.
I do.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I love the customization. Obviously, I'm a huge Flytanium fan. I love the arcade, which it looks like you have on the table, but we'll get to that later. First, what did you bring to show us? It looks like something new that we haven't seen yet.
We've had these or in some variation before.
Yeah.
But it's the Bug Out and the Desert Warrior.
I'm obsessed with
theme.
This is amazing.
This is installed. It's got the gold thumb clip. This one's installed. These come pre-installed. We do have some that are not installed. So if you have a Bug Out, feel free to just pick up the scales. And that pocket clip, it's a Cerakote.
Perfect.
And that
it's so
kind of, I don't want to say baby blue, but it's kind of the baby blue, right? It kind of pops and it looks really good.
Yeah, that's a nice blue for sure.
The other blue on the first run was a little different because it was an anodized versus a coat. So this is a coating. So and we also have it in, well, we did installs on the black one as well.
Oh yeah, kind of with the CF Elite package.
Yep, exactly.
Sweet.
Exactly.
It looks cool with the black plate as well.
I don't like coated blades per se, but it does that pink with the and the black with the contrasting differences. It makes it kind of like, brings out the pop, if you will.
A little snappy with it. But no, I love this. I think these would be super cool to even hit up Flytanium or whoever and actually switch out the thumb stud colors to match more with what's going on here.
So that's a fun thing, you bring that up, because we can bring in, now comes this one here. I had to borrow this, so if it looks dirty or looks beat up or used, I apologize. It is used. Use your stuff. We all get it. This one here on the arcade, they have done the purple thumb stud.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So I'll let you show it to all the friends and folks out there. But
that's sweet.
They were playing around with it and swapped it. Is that a word?
Yeah, they swapped it.
Swapped it. I was going to go with swatched it, but that wasn't it. For switched and swap. Anyway, they swapped it out for the copper.
Okay.
But anyway,
Is this the new titanium model?
So this is the full tie, not the inlay. They have a titanium with the inlay ability, so you can put whatever color you want in there.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, there's probably, and I might be way over on this, but there's probably a few hundred variations that you could change this out for with backspacer, inlays, scales, because there's a coated titanium scale in the same thing, and a coated titanium scale for the inlay as well. Thumb studs, all that stuff, pocket clips. If you go to Flytanium's website, this was done on their Modify. Okay. So if you look at their Modify, go to Flytanium, check it out, Flytanium. I think it's just flytanium.com.
Yeah, I believe so.
But they're Modify stuff, and they're dropping something else for the bug outs. This might be sweet. Isn't that totally cool?
Yeah.
I love it.
What do they call this? Just like anodized camo or something?
It's camo. I don't know. I think they're doing a digi version, but it's just a camo. I don't know if it's just the bug out or if it's going to be the Spydercos as well, because as we all know, Flytanium does scales for multiple Benchmade, Spyderco, Demco, some Civivi. Yeah. Oh my goodness, they have stuff for just about everything.
All the faves.
These are up for pre-order now. Awesome. We don't have a whole ton of them. Not the used car salesman thing, but we have a lady online for this. But no, we don't have a whole ton of them that are installed that are be on pre-order. The scales will be the uninstalled scales should be available as well. I don't know if they're going to be for pre-order, if they're just going to be launched. But these would, if you pre-order these, they'll ship probably end of November, first part of December.
Amazing. So, yeah, we'll make sure to link those in the bio as well so you guys can find them. And we'll link Flytanium, we'll link the arcade, and probably Modify as well, all the stuff they talked about.
Yeah, with Flytanium's Modify, I'm telling you, man.
It's
the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Well, awesome, Dallas. Thank you so much.
So,
hopefully you guys got an awesome rundown of all the cool customization that you can do at Blade HQ and with Flytanium. And thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Well, on to the next. Well, those last knives were pretty awesome, but now I have Jacob K with me, and you are our CMO here at Blade HQ.
Indeed.
And for those that don't know you, I know you were on a recent video, but how long have you been here and what do you kind of do here?
I'm coming up on my 18th year at Blade HQ. Kind of have done a little bit of everything over the ages, but currently overseeing marketing and products.
Amazing. Well, we love having you as our CMO.
Yeah.
You keep us all running where we need to be. But we've kind of deemed you as the collector, and everyone that works here knows you as someone that loves collecting shoes, like just kind of ballad songs as we saw in the last video. So that's kind of the title we gave you.
Okay. It's an appropriate title.
Yeah? Would you say that fits you?
I would, yeah.
I love that. But you have some knives that you want to show us.
I brought 2 knives today.
Okay.
First up is a knife that probably doesn't look like anything too special, but this is a fairly rare paramilitary 2 from Spyderco. This was a sprint run that probably came out 10 plus years ago. So what makes this one a little bit different than your inline paramilitary 2 is, one, the handle. This has a pill ply carbon fiber handle. I kind of like the pill ply because normally when you have carbon fiber, it's fairly slick and smooth. But with this pill ply, it gives it a bit of texture to it.
A little grippier.
But
cool.
you still kind of get the carbon fiber pattern.
Yeah,
underneath
the nice shimmer there.
It's a little more subtle, I think, but
that's cool.
Looks good.
Yeah.
And then the blade. The blade's an interesting one. We have 2 types of steel on this blade, so it's a laminated blade. The core is an S90V, and then the outside is a CPM 154. As far as functionality, I don't think it does a lot, but I think it shows off kind of the manufacturing ability. Yeah. And if you look really closely, you can kind of see the difference between the 2 steels.
Yeah, where they kind of part. Yeah. That's cool.
Kind of looks like a hamon, but it's not a hamon. But it is 2 different types of steel in one blade.
That's really cool. I've never seen anything like this. Not that I'm huge into knives like George might be, but I can imagine that would definitely be something a collector would want in their collection. Yeah,
it's a hard one to find. I haven't looked in a minute, but yeah, they go for a pretty penny.
That's sweet, and yeah, it's a cool take on an old classic.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
And then next up is my Rockstead Shin.
Okay, that's sweet.
So Rockstead, I feel like, is one of those companies where everyone needs a Rockstead in their collection.
Yeah.
Like I'll throw a paramilitary 2 in there, I'll throw a Sebenza in there, I'll throw a bug out in there. I think everyone needs a Rockstead in their collection.
That's cool.
A few reasons why I like this knife is one, their attention to detail. You can tell they spend a lot of time. So this is an aluminum handle, which doesn't really feel high end, but when you handle this knife, it really shows the amount of attention they put into it.
That's heavy, heavier than I thought.
Yeah, for an aluminum handle. I mean, it's a significant
beautiful
handle.
Yeah.
And then the blade finish, in my opinion, is second to none. I'm not sure exactly how they get this, but
it's so cool.
It's got like kind of a satin flat and then a more polished grind.
It's like a black mirror finish almost. So it's really neat. And then is this like milling in here? Or
no, it's actually like a Stingray.
Studs? Oh, that's cool.
So Stingray inlay.
That's really pretty. I love that.
And I think one of the, at least in my opinion, one of the funnest things about this knife is if you look at the whole knife, like everything is perfect down to the smallest detail.
Yeah.
Except some people might criticize this little part right here.
The billboarding.
Well, it's like this stamped made in Japan.
Oh no.
So, are you familiar with the concept of wabi-sabi?
No, I've never heard of that.
So it's a Japanese concept where they try to introduce imperfection.
Okay.
Or try to introduce, I mean, like patina could be considered a form of wabi-sabi.
Okay.
But in my opinion, I think they did this on purpose. I think they made this perfect knife, and then to add some imperfection, they add this kind of it's just basically a stamp, right?
Yeah.
And you can kind of see, you know, it's not perfect.
Yeah, it is a little off. I guess
and it just feels so like disjointed from the rest of the manufacturing techniques that went into this knife.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think it's kind of endearing that they made this perfect knife and then they stamped this made in Japan instead of like, I don't know, they could have done something, you know, machined it to make it look a little bit nicer. And it's not that it doesn't look nice in my opinion, but I just like this Japanese, because this is a Japanese brand made in Japan. I just like this concept of wabi-sabi.
It is cool. Here, I'll put this for the camera to see. But you know what this reminds me of? And maybe this doesn't connect in your head, but like the off-white models of like Jordans where they have like the tags and all the little things on them that kind of make it look a lot different than a standard shoe.
Like the text they'll add to it.
That's kind of what that's the vibe I get in terms of like a collector's item. But yeah, that's amazing. So then for a collector out there that might be like you, would you recommend, or I guess, is it your choice to say, I'd rather have something that's a little more limited in my collection, or do you also pick up stuff that you just think is cool to throw in there? Like, what does your collection really look like?
Yeah, for me, really, it's just whatever speaks to me. That might sound kind of lame, but
no, it's cool.
You know, I've got standard paramilitaries that I use all the time.
Yeah.
And you know, I like this one isn't a user. Like I'll carry my Rockstead. It's not a heavy user, but like this one I don't really carry too much. So I think it just kind of depends on what speaks to you. Sometimes we try to dictate like you know, maybe too much so like what goes into a collection. I mean, even earlier I was saying like you need one of these and one of these and one of these.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, get the knife in your hand, hold it, you know, see how it makes you feel, if that makes sense. I think there's like a certain ethereal sense of like, what does this knife make me feel? Like this one makes me feel something. Yeah. You know, just by handling it and inspecting, you know, what went into the manufacturing of it and the design of it.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's cool with collections that you can really just make it however you want it to be. So it's whatever you feel as a person, especially with knives, like, oh, that one looks cool, but maybe to someone else it doesn't. Yeah. But then there's also those pieces that like everyone kind of desires. So I think it's pretty cool.
It's personal when it comes down to it.
For sure. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time and for showing these off. These are great. And I'm excited to see who's next. All right, guys, last up we have Justin, who's also from the marketing department.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know you, what do you do here and how long have you been here?
Okay, so I've been here actually quite a long time. I'm coming up on 15 years. Okay. But right now I'm a marketing intern here, working alongside Sara and George, among others. Yeah, having a great time.
That's good, nice. Well, as a lot of us know in the building, you are really into cars. You're kind of our car guy. Would you say?
Yeah. I definitely, I love cars. I'm a car enthusiast. Sometimes people take that into like, well, do you do this, this, and this? Like, have you changed out an engine? Have you overhauled an engine? It's like, what?
So maybe less maintenance, more just like cars are cool and I collect them?
Yeah, and I like to tinker around with vehicles, you know.
Hey, that's
modify,
still cool. That's cool. Well, do you use your knives? Obviously you do, because that's why you're here.
I do.
But what knives do you typically have in those scenarios?
Okay, in those scenarios, I am a big fan of really nice knives, right? I love my Protex, I love my Benchmades, I love my Spydercos. But I also love my CRKTs and my Kershaws. And generally, when we're talking about working out in the garage, like I'm a neat freak, and I don't want to scratch up all, you know, my
get worried about blemishing a nice blade or something.
Yeah, so in that case, I like to turn to whether it be a CRKT, a Kershaw, or in the case of this knife, the Civivi Elementum.
A classic.
Yes, and this is the original Elementum.
That is no button.
Yes. There is actually a story with this.
Let's hear it.
So this is actually one of, I want to say 3 Elementums that I own. And this one was actually gifted to me. And so you'll see on there.
Oh yeah, your name on the back.
It's even got my name on there. So
we'll have to catch that later.
Yes. Yeah.
Very nice.
So yeah, it's just super reliable, does all that I need it to do.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be, you know, breaking a zip tie or opening up the next install, or
that's got
that needs to be cleaned up. Yeah, like this gets used. Yeah.
We want to see knives that are used.
Absolutely.
We're always on here just showing off brand new knives.
Yeah.
So that's more exciting.
Yeah.
But good pick for that.
Yeah.
Would you say you recommend to other car people maybe knives that aren't as expensive because of certain reasons, or is it just like you can pick?
Yeah, you know, to each your own. For me, it pains me so much to you know, to ruin. And generally, I prefer a knife with probably a synthetic material, like you know, a polymer or a G10.
Makes sense.
You know, where a little scuffing's it's not gonna hurt me personally, but not everybody's you know, special like me in that regard.
All right, well, I think that's a good pick for what you do. And maybe if you're someone out there that's also into cars, you can pick up something similar. We have tons of them at Blade HQ, so definitely check those out. And Justin, thank you so much for being on.
Hey, thanks, Sarah.
Yeah. Well, that was a ton of fun. I had such a good time talking to all my other coworkers and seeing what kind of knives they carry for their certain hobbies. Hopefully you guys can relate to either one or a few of the employees here for a knife that might fit well with a hobby in your life. If not, there are tons and tons of other knives at bladehq.com, and I'm sure you'll find one that suits your fancy. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and comment to us for more videos like this, and we'll see you on the next one.